This is what over $500,000 looks like versus $30,000 annual salary. In this video, we'll be gabbling about the lifestyle of people who make this much money versus this much money, and everything in between. Because while Singapore is a rich country with many rich individuals, not everyone is rich, and some are even living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, let's start at the $30,000 annual salary. This works out to be $2,500 salary a month. Someone who is earning this amount is very close to the 20th percentile, or in other words, 1 in 5 full-time working residents earn this amount or less. Most workers at this income level typically have up to a post-secondary education, where they will enter the workforce straight after their O-levels. They usually work in service, sales, or manual roles, such as clerks, cleaners, craftsmen, and machine operators. These jobs are essential to keeping society running, but they are often physically demanding and offer limited opportunities for career advancement. As a result, even with years of experience, many workers in these roles see little to no increase in pay over time. A couple who are both earning about $2,500 a month can afford a home that costs up to $330,000 and a monthly mortgage of around $1,500. Using a tool that was built by a genius on Reddit, we can see that the couple can only afford a 2 or 3 bedroom resale HDB outside the city area. For example, this humble 3-room flat near Dakota MRT. It is a cozy home, but it is a little old, having been completed back in the 1960s. This means there could be potential issues down the road, especially as the flat nears the end of its 99-year lease. The property may depreciate in value, and it could also become harder to sell or finance in the future. So, if the couple wants to avoid this problem, they can instead apply for a 2-room or 3-room BTO at affordable prices. So, what does life look like on a $2,500 monthly salary? After the 20% employee CPF deduction, you will be left with around $2,000 take-home pay. According to studies, this amount is actually enough to have a basic standard of living, such as the ability to afford decent food, clothing, healthcare, and even a simple trip to Malaysia. But in order to make that work, you have to be extremely thrifty. That means mostly eating at hawker stores or cooking at home, taking public transport most of the time, and paying close attention to discounts. And even after all that, there's often very little left for savings, if any at all. Quick pause, enjoy a 12% interest booster for 90 days when you sign up to today's sponsor, Longbridge. Longbridge allows you to invest in the Singapore, Hong Kong, and US stock markets with $0 commission and some of the lowest fees around. You will get a slick, user-friendly interface, free real-time market data, powerful research tools, and all the latest financial news, all in one platform. New users can earn a 12% interest booster for 90 days on up to $2,000 deposited into any of the Cash Plus funds. And the more you deposit, the more you unlock, up to $800 in total rewards. Sign up using my exclusive link to enjoy another $18 exclusive reward. Falling sick can be especially stressful. You could save money by going to a polyclinic, but that often means long waiting hours. Or you could save time by visiting a private clinic, but that often comes at a much higher cost, which can quickly eat into your limited funds. For those on hourly wages or without stable employment, falling ill doesn't just mean medical bills. It could also mean lost income. Fortunately, there's a significant amount of government support at this level. For someone around the 20th percentile, schemes like CDC vouchers, GST vouchers, and YouSave rebates can add up to between $7,700 to $10,400 a year. These transfers make up about 21% to 48% of your annual income, which can definitely help to ease the high cost of living. But even with all that support, it is still barely enough, especially if you have dependents like children or elderly parents to take care of. Breaking out of this income group can be difficult, despite all the additional support from the government, such as skill futures programs or training subsidies. That's because many in this income bracket simply lack the time, energy, and stability to take advantage of these schemes. For instance, those working in non-PMAT roles like service staff, drivers, or machine operators tend to have longer working hours as compared to professionals and managers. By the time they finish work, they are often too exhausted to do anything else, let alone attend courses or pursue upskilling. And even if they are motivated to improve their situation, they usually don't have spare cash to invest on themselves or the financial buffer to take any risk. This lack of options can often lead to desperation. With no clear path forward, some may turn to lottery tickets or fall for get-rich-quick schemes in hopes for that one lucky break to change their lives. But more often than not, these hopes end in disappointment and financial loss. Instead of escaping poverty, they fall deeper into it, becoming further trapped in the cycle of low income and instability. Next, let's look at someone earning $60,000 a year or about $5,000 a month. At this level, you are earning more than half of the population in Singapore. Chances are, you hold a diploma or a degree and are working in a professional or managerial role, perhaps in fields such as marketing, finance, engineering, or education. Your housing options open up significantly. With this income, you can comfortably afford a 4-room or even a 5-room resale HDB flat with a budget of up to $661,000. This gives you access to a much wider range of locations and property sizes. But in the end, you went for this 3-bedroom resale flat in Sengkang, which offers a good balance between space, convenience, and affordability. Alternatively, you could go down a more strategic path, one that many aspiring Singaporeans take. First, you start with a BTO flat, make full use of the available grants, stay for the minimum occupation period of 5 years, then sell at a profit. After that, you can upgrade to an executive condo or a private condo, which will allow you to enjoy private property facilities while potentially growing your wealth further through capital appreciation. At this income level, your lifestyle improves significantly. Your core expenses such as housing loan repayments, groceries, transport, and insurance are now much more manageable. You no longer have to settle for chai fan every meal. Instead, you can treat yourself to cafes, mid-tier restaurants, and even Hai Di Lao every once in a while, because you deserve all this after working hard at your job. Your doctor visits and dental appointments are covered by your company, so you don't have to worry about falling sick. You have sufficient insurance coverage too, though you might get tricked into buying an ILP by a long-lost friend. You can also easily afford concert tickets, as well as 2 to 3 short holiday trips every year without breaking the bank. Now, even though you have a comfortable income, you still receive around $6,000 worth of government transfers each year. This works out to be around 11% of your income. Though, of course, since all this is extra money, you could spend it on things that make you happier, such as iPhones, Pokemon cards, or even teeth whitening. After all that spent, you still have around 20 to 50% of your income left. So why not use it to make your life even easier? You could hire a part-time helper to come in once a week. It will only set you back by about $30 an hour. Or if you have got a child or just need more hands-on help, you could get a full-time live-in helper that typically costs between $500 and $700 a month. Speaking of kids, they will likely be attending a neighborhood school, since it's the most budget-friendly option available. But of course, you will still be sending them for as many tuition and enrichment classes as your wallet allows. After all, how else are they going to be the next astrophysicists unless you fully max out their potential? With some disposable income left each month, you also start thinking seriously about investing. So you begin searching online for everything, from the best places to park your money and long-term investment options to ways to boost your passive income and achieve early retirement. At this stage, you might also find yourself jumping from one high-yield savings account to another just to earn an extra 0.5% interest, or signing up for every new platform just to score that sweet welcome bonus. Moving on, we are now stepping into the atas territory and look at someone who is earning $120,000 a year or $10,000 per month. This puts you in the top 20% of earners in Singapore. At this level, your monthly salary is nearly equivalent to the median household income in Singapore, which is about $11,297 per month. In other words, you alone earn almost as much as what a typical Singaporean household brings in. What lah? Chances are you hold a university degree and work in a well-respected role, whether it's senior professional, manager, or specialist, and are likely based in one of the tall offices around the CBD area. Now, at $10,000 a month, you and your partner can no longer qualify for a BTO due to the income ceiling. But that's not a big deal, as you can easily afford a resale HDB, an executive condo, or even a private property. With your income, you can afford a home worth up to $2.3 million with a mortgage of around $11,000 a month. Though, given that you aren't eligible for any HDB grants, you decide to just go straight for an EC instead, like this beautiful 3-bedroom unit at the Oriel at Tampines, which costs around $2 million. It sounds expensive, but it's okay, since you believe that this will turn out to be a solid investment. Will you be owning any cars? Interestingly, even among the top earners, car ownership rate is only around 56.6%. This means you'll still be taking public transports most of the time. But of course, you can easily afford Grab rides whenever you want, because now your time is more valuable than your money. Every month, you spend around $800 just on food. You don't really look at the prices on the menu anymore. Instead, you care more about the experience, convenience, and health. Because of that, you eat a lot less hawker food nowadays, because they are high in carbs, oil, and salt. So you go for healthier choices such as the atas cai fan, salad and protein bowl, vegan food, or bistro food made with all natural high quality ingredients. You also invest in your health. Even though your condo has a gym, you still have another gym membership outside and a personal trainer who charges $200 per session because you want proper guidance, injury prevention, and a motivational push. When it comes to healthcare, you only go to private clinics and private hospitals. And of course, we have got a comprehensive insurance coverage, so you no longer need to worry about hospital bills. As for travel, you are flying overseas every few months to places like Japan, Australia, or Europe, and you only fly business class. But of course, you are smart and you are not throwing money away. Instead, you are playing the mouse game to redeem free business class flights. After a long day at work and social gatherings, all you want is to Netflix and chill. So hiring a domestic helper or weekly cleaner is a must, because at this level, convenience isn't indulgence, it is efficiency. Outsourcing your household chores can help to free up your time for what really matters, like work, family, or even a side hustle. As for your kids, they will be going for the best schools you can afford, such as the Montessori kindergartens or Nanyang Primary School or ACS, because you want the best for them. And fun fact, even at this income level, you still get to receive around $2,969 from government transfers every year. Extra money is always nice to have, especially when you are already paying so much in taxes. Now, despite all these expenses, you are still left with 50 to 60% of your income. So you start to take investing very seriously and are looking at ways to grow your money, such as stocks, ETFs, and maybe even property if you are interested. Next, at the $696,000 annual income or $60,000 monthly income, you are officially in the top 1% of earners in Singapore. To put that into perspective, in less than 2 years, you make what someone with a 2.5k salary makes in their lifetime. According to the NetWealth Report 2024, someone earning this income will have a net worth of around $7.06 million. You probably hold a senior leadership position like C-suite executive, managing director, big law partner, specialist surgeon, or senior tech leader in fintech or big tech. In theory, you could buy one HDB flat every year, but realistically, you are looking at private condos or landed properties, because to you, a property is now a wealth building tool and not just a place to live. So you go for this spacious 5-bedroom semi-detached house that comes with a pool and costs $7.8 million. Owning a car isn't optional anymore. This is not just for convenience, but because there's literally no MRT or bus stop anywhere near your house. So you go for a Tesla Model Y that costs around $220,000 after COE. As for spending wise, there's surprisingly not much difference in how much you spend on food versus someone who's earning 10k a month. After all, there's only so much salad, steak, sushi, and omakase one person can consume. But you do spend a little more on food delivery and take-out coffees, because after all, your hours are very valuable. Your healthcare spending is also slightly more as compared to someone at the $10,000 income level, because to you, your greatest asset now is your health. You have got personal trainers, fitness coaches, private yoga instructors, and you go for regular advanced screenings. You could definitely afford the 300k annual membership at country clubs, but you don't sign up for one because none of your rich friends go there nowadays. So you might as well save on that money. As for travel, you are flying multiple times a year, whether it's to Maldives to unwind, Niseko to ski, or Europe to roam, and you primarily fly business class or first class, depending on what's available. But yes, you still play the credit card mouse game, because saving money is always satisfying, even when you don't need to. Even after all that spending, you are still left with 50 to 80% of your income. That's about 30k to 48k a month in cash. At this point, you are not just investing into the usual stocks and properties, you are entering into a world of accredited investments. So think of private equity, venture capital, hedge funds, pre-IPOs, the kind of stuff that most people don't even hear about. Oh, and government transfers? Yes, you will still receive them, but let's be real, at this level, you probably don't even notice them anymore. Lastly, we have the ultra-rich Singaporeans, the billionaires. They are among the wealthiest in Singapore, and you will even find their names on wealth leaderboards. They are often the founders of highly successful companies or individuals who have built their wealth through strategic investments and business ventures. At this level, they don't think in terms of salary. Instead, they measure their wealth by net worth. In fact, it's very possible that they pay less income tax than someone earning $10,000 a month. How? Whenever they need money, they borrow against their investment portfolios or cash out small portions of their assets when needed. And since Singapore doesn't tax capital gains, they often pay zero taxes on those investment withdrawals. For housing, they will likely be staying in huge landed properties such as bungalows and good class bungalows, like this stunning $50 million GCB that comes with 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and a swimming pool. Oh, it's even walking distance to Holland Village MRT. Perfect if you wish to eat some local Singaporean food every now and then. As for transport, you probably own a few luxury cars. I'm talking about Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and Alphard. Not just that, some might even own yachts, private jets, or charter flights whenever they travel. And while their dining habits aren't that much different from someone earning 60k a month, they often host dinners at their place to network with private bankers, investors, and their high net worth friends. Yes, they have domestic helpers, but it goes way beyond that. They have an entire team of people to manage their life. I'm talking about full-time drivers to drive you around town, private chefs to cook your daily meals, landscapers to maintain your garden, nutritionists to plan your balanced diets, and even a personal doctor whom you can contact 24/7. As for travels, they exclusively fly on first class or business class, stay at exclusive resorts, or even private islands. And those super yachts docked at Sentosa Cove, they are not just for show. They are floating homes ready to cruise around the region whenever they feel like it. To the rich, investing is no longer just about the returns. It's also about wealth preservation and passion. They collect art, antiques, luxury watches, which are not just hobbies, but as assets that retain or grow in value. Many wealthy individuals are also involved in philanthropy, where they set up charitable foundations and trusts, like the Gates Foundation, to support education, healthcare, or causes close to their hearts. To them, money is infinite, and as long as it's a problem that can be solved by money, they can just pay it away. The only things that they can't pay away are probably heartbreak, grief, and social anxiety. And as long as they manage their expenses responsibly, their wealth will never dip below a certain level. The income inequality in Singapore has been going down over time, thanks to government transfers and taxes. In fact, it is actually the lowest it has ever been since the year 2000. However, wealth inequality still exists within the country. On paper, it is shown that households across all income deciles saw increases in household employment. But when you take into account the rise in absolute wealth, it's the richest people who got wealthier overall. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put the government in bad light or anything. On the contrary, I do feel the government has been trying their best to help out the less fortunate, from government transfers to housing subsidies, workfare payouts, and so on. In fact, the government's social spending has more than doubled over the last decade. And while Singaporeans may love to complain, the truth is that the standard of living here is actually quite high, especially when compared to many of our neighbours. Most of us have a roof over our heads, we have access to world-class healthcare, live in one of the safest cities in the world, and benefit from a pension system that provides lifelong payouts during our retirement. But when everyday costs go up, whether it's food, healthcare, or housing, it's the average Singaporeans who will always feel it the most. At the end of the day, a fair society isn't just one where everyone earns a decent wage. It's one where everyone has a real chance to grow their wealth, secure their future, and live with dignity.